I'm going to show you a quick way to make the masks, and it's all listed on the board that you have at the sewing room. As you can see, I have two pieces of fabric, two different colors, which is what you're going to be using, except you're not going to have a pattern on them. So this is going to make it easier, but if you ever decide to make masks or anything else, this is how we'll do it, and we'll pretend that they have two sides. This one is a right side up, and the other piece will go right on top. And as you can see, there's the two pieces, and we're getting ready to sew. The first thing that you're going to do is take the two pieces and put it underneath your presser foot, and it's going to be as close to the edge as possible. So we're going to look about 1/8 of an inch, and you're just going to sew a straight seam. All the way to the end. Then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to sew another straight seam almost to the end, and this time you're going to put the stitch line at the edge of your presser foot, or make it about 1/2 inch either way, and this time you're going to sew. You're going to do a little bit of back stitching all the way to the back, go straight again so that it holds that seam. And you're going to go almost all the way to the end, about 1.5 inches. Stop. Leave your needle in the fabric. You're going to turn it so it goes to this stitch line and go forward. And then you're going to go backwards, all the way back to the other line. And then you're going to turn and finish sewing all the way to the end. And stop. From this point, you have a nose adjuster. You're going to start out with this, but you'll have a different one from most of the other pieces of school masks that you're going to be making. But for now, take this and just snip it off at a 6-inch level. And okay, next you have a spool of thread, spool of elastic, and you're going to take one of these and just cut it about whatever size you're making, 1 inch less than the width of your fabric. So this is a 9-inch piece, so I'm going to cut this piece in two, and they will each be 8 inches long. Okay, I have the two 8-inch pieces right here, and you're going to flip your fabric one side up all the way to the seam, and you're going to put one end on this side, and then you're going to put another end on that side, and then you're going to pin. I'm going to use clips just because it's going to be quicker. So fold that down, clip or pin, clip or pin. Flip back up and take this same side, and you're going to go about 1/2 inch from the end. Do the same thing, clip or pin. Now you can see that I have all 4 of those end pieces clipped, so I'm going to take it back over to the sewing machine, and we're going to start sewing it in. So we're back at the sewing machine again, and we're going to remove my pin, and just somewhere right along the top, about 1/4 or 1/8 of an inch over, no more. Just sew a straight line down, and then once you go over that piece of elastic, you're going to just go back stitch it over just so it stays secure, and forward again, and go all the way down to the edge of the fabric, removing the pin and doing the exact same thing again. Go over it, back stitch it, go forward, and stop. Leave your needle inside your fabric. Lift your presser foot up while the needle is still in. Put your presser foot back down when you turn it, and then you're going to go in about 2 inches straight across. And then we're going to stop, and you're going to back stitch, and then forward stitch, stop, cut it. You'll have to use scissors to cut it. And then just move it down about 2 inches. Put your presser foot down, needle goes in, and forward stitch, back stitch. Because what's going to happen is if you don't back stitch it, when you flip it out, it's going to rip all out. So this is the very important part. And then just sew all the way to the corner again. Keep your needle in your fabric and turn. So you can see here where I have an ending stitch and another beginning and ending stitch here, and all of this is left open. This is going to be your turning point. And then we're going to just continue sewing all the way up to the other edge. Over the elastic, I'm going to back stitch, go forward, all the way to the end. Back stitch and forward stitch. Take it all the way off and cut your material. Now we're just getting ready to start turning it inside out. This would be step number 3. So just take this. You can pull on the elastic to help get your corners out. So you can see how the corners are still kind of tucked in. Some of them are out. And that's going to be the next step, is using your tool. This is your corner tool. So you go into the opening with the point and just go into each corner and press it so that each corner kind of pops out. And let's get this big last corner. There. And now you have 4 corners and your opening, and now it's time to press and get ready to do the pleating. Okay, so we're here at the ironing board, and all we're going to do is make sure that these 2 pieces of raw edge are kind of tucked under, so it will make a solid seam. Take our iron, press and steam so it all lays nice and flat. And then you can kind of see where the opening is, but now that it's turned under. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to start pleating. Pleating is just a matter of, for me it's easiest to take my 2 fingers and my thumb and just pull up. And then I go ahead and I just steam it. If you want to pin it to make sure that it stays for you, that's perfectly fine too. So here's pleat number 2. Steam it. And pleat number 3. And steam that. Take your whole. So I've got it all steamed and pleated, and they stay in place. And you can see the bottom again where the opening still is, and we're getting ready now to sew. So back to the sewing machine. Okay, back to the sewing machine, and we have our mask ready to sew. Put your mask in over on the far right side, and you will be able to feel your nose piece. You can see how it kind of bends right there. Keep that up at the top. So if you go over to the far right side, put your presser foot down, and you're going to sew all the way down to the bottom. When you get close to the edge but not all the way in, leave your needle in, press your foot up, and you're going to rotate your fabric again and sew straight back on that same line back up to the top again. What we're doing is securing the pleats. Needle in your fabric, press your foot up, turn it around, and rotate one more time all the way back down. And this time, stop, leave your needle in, and you're going to turn it halfway. And now you're going to sew that seam that is open, and you're going to sew that shut. You only need to do this once. That was a little bit too much vibration. Stop, leave your needle in your material, put your presser foot down, and you're going to go up, back down, and back up again, just like we did on the other side. All the way to the top, needle in, rotate back around, presser foot down, so back to your line, needle down, presser foot, rotate, and this is your last stitch before you are done with your complete mask. Done. Cut the thread, and your mask is ready to be worn. Well, mine is trimming off your edges. So we're going to snip this thread and snip that thread.